Hello everyone, presenting before you is TANVI RADIA, presenting on the topic Evolution of Microprocessors. So what is a microprocessor? It is a computer's central processing unit built on a single integrated circuit is called a microprocessor. And it is also a digital computer with one microprocessor which acts as a CPU is called a microcomputer. It is programmable, multi-purpose, clock-driven, register-based electronic device that reads binary instructions from a storage device called memory, accepts binary data as input and processes data according to those instructions and provides or results as output. So here there is a block diagram of a microcomputer. There is an input device and which goes in ALU, and ALU performs all the arithmetic and logic micro operations. Control unit, its function is to control and manage all the functions that is performed by ALU and register. Register array is basically its function is to store the intermediate bits and also the results after the ALU has performed a particular micro operation. And there is also a memory unit, and there is an input and output. Now, fourth generation or 4-bit microprocessor. First generation microprocessor were introduced in year 1971 to 1972 by Intel Corporation. It was named Intel 4004 since it was a 4-bit microprocessor. It was a processor on a single chip. It could perform simple arithmetic and logical operations such as addition, subtraction, Boolean or Boolean AND. Intel 4004. Year of introduction is 1972. It is a 4-bit microprocessor. It is 4 KB main memory and it has 45 instructions. PMOS technology was programmable device which was used in calculators. Second generation is 8-bit microprocessor. The second generation microprocessor were introduced in 1973 again by Intel. It was a first 8-bit microprocessor which could perform arithmetic and logical operations on 8-bit words, and it was Intel 8008 was another improved version was Intel 8088. Then we come to Intel 8008. The year of introduction was 1972, 8-bit version of 4004, 16 KB main memory, 48 instructions, PMOS technology. It was slow. Now third generation, 16-bit microprocessor. The third generation microprocessor was introduced in 1978, were represented by Intel's 8086, Zilog, Z800 and 80286, which were 16-bit microprocessor with a performance like mini computers. Intel 8086, year of introduction was 1978, and enhanced version of 8085. Also, microprocessor was designed by Intel in 1976. It was 16-bit microprocessor having 20 address lines, and it has 16 data lines that provides up to 1 MB storage. It consists of powerful instruction set which provides operations like multiplication and division easily. Also now 80286, a 16-bit microprocessor that has the ability to execute 16-bit instruction at a time. It was a non-multiplexed data and non-multiplexed data and address bus. The size of data bus is 16-bit and the size of address bus is 24-bit. It was invented in February 1982 by Intel. 80286 microprocessor was basically an advancement of 8086 microprocessor. Further, in 1985, Intel produced upgraded version of 80286, which was a 32-bit microprocessor. Fourth generation 32-bit microprocessor. Several different companies introduced the 32-bit microprocessor, but the most popular one is Intel 80386. Now, 80386 microprocessor is a 32-bit microprocessor that holds the ability to carry out 32-bit operations in one cycle. It has address and data and address bus of 32-bit each. Thus, the ability to address 4 GB or 2 raised to 32 of physical memory. Multitasking and protection capability are the two key characteristics of the 80386 microprocessor. Now, Intel Pentium. It is a 32-bit microprocessor, 64-bit data bus and 32-bit address bus, 4 GB main memory, double clocked and 120 and 133 megahertz, dual integer processor. Also, it is fastest version is the 233 megahertz and 16-bit L1 cache, that is level 1 cache, split instruction and data 8 KB each. Now, fifth generation 64-bit microprocessors. From 1995 to now, we are in the fifth generation. After 80856, Intel came out with a new processor, namely Pentium processor, followed by Pentium Pro CPU. It allows multiple CPUs in a single system to achieve multiprocessing. Other improved 64-bit processors are Celeron dual quad octa-core microprocessors. Fifth generation or 64-bit microprocessors. The year of introduction was 1995 and it was 32-bit microprocessor, formerly code named as P6, 64 GB main memory, 64-bit data and 36-bit address bus, 16 KB level 1 cache and also split instruction and data 8 KB each and 256 KB level 2 cache. Uses 3 execution engines. Intel launched this processor for server market. Basic terms used in microprocessor. Instruction set. The group of commands that the microprocessor can understand is called instruction set. It is an interface between hardware and software. Bus. It is a set of conductors intended to transmit data, address or control information to different elements in a microprocessor. A microprocessor will have three types of buses: data bus, address bus and control bus. IPC, that is instructions per cycle. It is a measure of how many instructions a CPU is capable of executing in a single clock speed. It is a number of operations per second the processor can perform. It can be expressed in megahertz or gigahertz. It is also called the clock rate. Bandwidth. The number of bits processed in a single instruction is called bandwidth. Word length. The number of bits the processor can process at a time is called word length of the processor. 8-bit microprocessor may process 8-bit data at a time. The range of word length is from 4 bits to 64 bits depending upon the type of the microcomputer. Data types. The microprocessor supports multiple data type formats like binary, ASCII, signed and unsigned numbers. What are the features of microprocessors? That is low cost. It will generate less heat, high speed, consumes low power, also portable, small in size, versatile and reliable. Thank you.